Marcus Aurelius wrote it himself. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, and tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being, the most powerful man on earth, struggling to get up, just like you. The difference is what he did next. These are his 5 rules for absolute discipline. Rule 1, rise before you feel ready. Marcus Aurelius could sleep as long as he wanted. Nobody was going to knock on the emperor's door and tell him to get moving, and yet he wrote to himself, what do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? That question is everything. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait for motivation, for energy, for the right mood, for the perfect moment. Marcus Aurelius understood that the perfect moment never comes. Discipline doesn't wait for feelings. It acts before them. The bed is the first test of every single day. Not the gym, not the work, the bed. Because how you respond to the first moment of resistance in your day determines how you respond to every other moment of resistance that follows. If you surrender to comfort at 6 a.m., you are training yourself to surrender to comfort at every other point the day gets hard. If you get up before you feel ready, you are sending yourself a message. I am the kind of person who does what needs to be done, regardless of how I feel. That message compounds every single morning, for weeks, for months, for years. Marcus wrote this not as advice to others, as a reminder to himself, because even an emperor had to fight this battle every single morning, and he won it every day for 19 years. The battle starts before your feet hit the floor. Make sure you win it. Rule 2, your thoughts dye your soul. Marcus Aurelius wrote one line that changes everything about how you understand discipline. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Read that slowly. Your mind is not a passive receiver, it is a dye vat. Whatever you pour into it, it absorbs, it becomes it. Feed it fear, you become fearful. Feed it doubt, you become doubtful. Feed it distraction, you become distracted. But feed it wisdom, feed it purpose, feed it the right questions and the right ideas. And over time, you become that. Most people think discipline is about willpower, about gritting your teeth and pushing through. Marcus Aurelius knew it starts earlier than that. It starts with what you allow into your mind. He was deliberate about what he read, who he listened to, what conversations he engaged in, what thoughts he entertained in quiet moments, because he understood that the disciplined life is not built by dramatic acts of willpower. It is built thought by thought, input by input, day by day. What are you feeding your mind right now? The social media you scroll, the conversations you have, the content you consume, the thoughts you return to when you're alone. All of it is going into the dye vat. All of it is coloring who you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius was ruthless about his inputs because he understood that discipline of action starts with discipline of mind. And discipline of mind starts with what you allow in. Curate what enters your mind as carefully as you curate what enters your body, because one shapes you just as powerfully as the other. Rule 3, do less but do it completely. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you seek tranquility, do less. Or more accurately, do what's essential. Do less better, because most of what we do or say is not essential. This is the discipline most people never develop, because most people think discipline means doing more, working longer, pushing harder, adding more to the list. Marcus Aurelius said the opposite. Real discipline is the ability to identify what matters and then give it everything, while eliminating what doesn't deserve your energy at all. Think about your average day. How much of it is genuinely essential? How much is noise dressed up as productivity? Meetings that didn't need to happen, tasks that could be dropped, conversations that drained rather than built. Marcus was running an empire. He had every excuse to be pulled in 1,000 directions, and yet he wrote about doing less, focusing completely, giving total attention to the essential, because a blade that cuts everything cuts nothing well. Discipline is not about volume, it is about precision. The most disciplined people you have ever met are not the ones doing the most things. They are the ones doing fewer things with absolute complete focus and zero compromise. What do you need to eliminate to do what matters completely? That question is more useful than any productivity system you will ever find. Rule 4, be strict with yourself, tolerant with others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. 6 words, that's the whole rule. But most people live the exact opposite. They are strict with others, quick to judge, quick to criticize, quick to hold people accountable to standards they don't apply to themselves, and lenient with themselves. Always an excuse, always a reason, always a justification for why this time was different. Marcus Aurelius reversed this completely. When it came to others, patience, understanding, tolerance. Remember, they are fighting battles you cannot see. Remember, they are where they are for reasons you may not understand. When it came to himself, no excuses, no exceptions, no negotiations with comfort. He held himself to a standard nobody else could see or enforce. There was no external accountability system, no boss watching, no consequences if he let himself slip. Just the private standard of a man who had decided who he was going to be. That private standard is the most powerful form of discipline that exists, because it holds when nobody is watching. It holds when there is no reward for keeping it. It holds when breaking it would cost you nothing externally. The person who is strict with themselves in private, when nobody is watching and nothing is on the line, that person cannot be stopped. Be that person. And rule 5. This is the practice Marcus Aurelius did every single night for 19 years, not to punish himself, not out of guilt, but to make absolutely certain that tomorrow he would be better than today. Almost nobody does this, and it's the reason most people keep making the same mistakes year after year. If these ideas are changing how you think, subscribe to 5 Ideas Daily. Rule 5, the evening review. Every night, Marcus Aurelius stopped. Before he slept, he reviewed the day. Not to celebrate, not to wallow, to calibrate. He asked himself 3 questions. Where did I fall short of who I want to be today? Where did I show up with the discipline and character I intend to live by? And what will I do differently tomorrow? This practice, done consistently every single night, is what made Marcus Aurelius better every single day for 19 years as Emperor of Rome. Because most people move through life without ever stopping to examine it. They make the same mistakes in year 10 that they made in year 1. Not because they lack intelligence, because they never built the habit of honest self-examination. Marcus Aurelius wrote meditations as this nightly practice. He wasn't writing for anyone else. He was holding himself accountable to his own standard, catching himself where he drifted, recalibrating, recommitting. The evening review is not complicated. You don't need a journal. You don't need a system. Just 3 questions before you sleep. Where did I fall short today? Where did I show up? What will I do differently tomorrow? 3 questions, 5 minutes, every night. That is the discipline nobody sees, the work nobody applauds, the practice that happens in silence and produces everything that looks effortless from the outside. Marcus Aurelius was not born disciplined. He was not naturally a morning person. He was not immune to comfort and distraction. He built discipline daily through every one of these 5 rules, and he did it in the most demanding job any human being has ever held. If he could do it, the only honest question is whether you are willing to. So here is what I want you to do tonight. Before you sleep, just try Rule 5. 3 questions, 5 minutes. Where did I fall short today? Where did I show up? What will I do differently tomorrow? Start there, just tonight. See what happens. Drop your answer in the comments. And if these ideas are building something in you, subscribe. 5 Ideas Daily, every week. This video is for educational and motivational purposes only.